foreign men are often more good looking at their age than our local men. For example, at 30, at 40, at 50. For example, men at 50, their 50s from USA, Europe, they often look like 40, and sometimes I even don't recognize at airport that he's 50, even seen him personally.
Tsar Experience.
Привет из Odessy Mama. Welcome to Odessa, Ukraine, and welcome back to another Vodka Vodcast with me, Connor Klein. This is the Tsar Experience, and I am also back, using the word back a lot today already, with Yelena from Prime Matchmaking. And Yelena helps foreign and local men, right, meet local women here in Ukraine, in Odessa. And in general, the women are, we'll say, around 30 years of age or upwards. So, Yelena, tell me, why the hell would a 30-year-old Ukrainian woman want to meet a foreign guy for a serious relationship?
First of all, I would like to say that in general we have ladies coming to us. The ladies who they want to find love, to establish family. Many of them would like to have children, and they are looking for just right person. But as soon as we work mostly with foreigners, they say, okay, let's look among the foreigners, because we have some local clients, but not many. And local men, they probably don't see the value in applying to matchmaking agency, because there are many beautiful girls around.
They come, and what intrigues them about maybe meeting a foreigner? Is it just that suddenly they have more options? What do you think?
First of all, what we notice that they expect foreign men to be more responsible, and moreover, by the time there are many examples of successful international marriages. So many women who come to us, they say, I have a friend, she's living abroad, she's married a foreign man, and they are happy. He's doing everything for her. So I want the same.
Oh, that sounds... How long do these marriages actually last? That's what I love to know. But yeah, so that's very good. So basically it's from their social circle that they see that other women, probably in a similar circumstance to them, they go and they marry a foreign guy, and they believe that they're a happy couple.
Yeah, they see it. They visit each other, they talk, and they see that your friend is happy. So why not to try to do this? Moreover, I think that our women, they became more open to this foreign marriage at all. If we compare it with girls 10 years ago, we had to make sure them that everything will be good, that foreign men are very good, and so on. Now we have rather flow of such clients, lady clients from friends, from social networks, from our website. They are searching for marriage agency for the same. Also, we noticed, and our girls are surprised when they see that foreign men are often more good looking at their age than our local men. For example, at 30, at 40, at 50. For example, men at 50, their 50s from USA, Europe, they often look like 40, and sometimes I even don't recognize at airport that he's 50, even seen him personally.
Okay,
so I don't know why it happens. Maybe you have less stressful life. I don't know, but
I think it's just maybe the way that guys in the West, their lifestyle, maybe a little bit less stress, probably less smoking and drinking. Although I grew up in Ireland where we definitely drink a lot. We don't smoke so much, but definitely a lot of guys, I will say that's true, once they're over 40. In Ukraine, it's the same also in Russia and Belarus. They look a little bit smashed, should we say, smashed up, wrecked a little bit once they're over that 40 or 50. So definitely, I think there's probably a bigger emphasis in Western Europe and North America to look good as you get older than there is here in Ukraine. So that's definitely true. I just want to get back to something that you said that intrigued me. So you talked about women who have a friend who's gotten married to a foreigner and they live abroad, and you said that he does everything for them. What did you mean by that? Is that a perception that foreigners are easier to get stuff out of, or what do you mean by doing?
It usually means that these men are very attentive to his wife. They are good for family. They are taking care of family, taking responsibility, and just loving, respect, trust in relationships. So that's why they are attracted to foreigners. Hearing about good cases.
Okay, so it's not that they just buy them stuff.
Not
It's not
that
that-
stuff. Maybe, but
Maybe this is it, because you talked about a completely different set of values.
I guess there is different families, they have different relationships, but maybe for someone it means buying.
Okay, because
Our experience.
because that could be true. I mean, there is definitely a perception. I mean, I've talked a lot about the issue with scammers, for example. Those girls obviously are looking at foreigners just purely obviously for financial gain. But is there a perception also that maybe foreigners are more serious looking for a relationship, more trustworthy? What do you think? For
Yeah.
women over 30 in particular.
Yeah, I think that women believe in it, and it is like it's true. Men who are applying to us, I see that they are much more family oriented than local men. But maybe it depends on the audience, because in fact I have men applying to us, only those who want marriage and family at the moment. While when I talk with local men, they are just maybe my circle of friends. They are not aiming at marriage now. That's why maybe it seems to me that foreign men are more serious.
So it's more selection bias in the sense that when you say foreign guys, you mean the perception of foreign guys who go to marriage agencies or matchmaking services, that they're more serious and family orientated, and maybe the perception just men in the West are more that way. What do you think? Because I don't think it's true. So I think in general, I don't see any indication that guys in the West are more family oriented, more serious about a relationship than men in Ukraine, especially because they tend to get married, obviously younger here.
I guess now we are talking about more about expectations, because how to check the reality. I didn't live with foreign men myself. I can't say for sure, because everything is checked in everyday life and routine life. I didn't have this personal experience, so I can't say for sure. But those couples, international couples who we know, who stayed together thanks to us, they are happy, they are living together. And I think that we just discussed with you while we were walking that there is a trend to have more international marriages all over the world now, I think. Because due to internet, due to COVID, people start...
I don't think COVID helps with, because people can't travel, but obviously technology, and we're using part of that technology to reach out to you today. It obviously makes it easier to meet someone from another country than it was, we'll say, 30 years ago or 40 years ago. It was very hard. You basically had to come here, and then there started to be the idea of writing, right, and then come flying over. In the early 90s, with respect to matchmaking in Eastern Europe, and now today, basically, well, you don't even have to get on a dating app. You can just write on Instagram or something. You can have instantaneous communication.
Video conference each day to have a virtual dating while you can't travel because of COVID, but still develop relationships.
Yeah, you can stay in contact with people, or you can start talking to them, and you can use video chat or chat in general and build that. So definitely, it's a lot easier. And does that mean maybe that women, we're focusing women over 30, that because they have easier access, that they're more interested, or they're more curious because maybe they just look on Instagram and think, yeah, outside there are better options? What do you think? Well, what do you hear from the women who apply? What do they actually tell you?
They just come to us, they apply to us, and sometimes we are discussing this with them. In some cases they just can try to give us all the responsibility for their personal life, but we explain that we can't date instead of them. So they should put some effort into the process. So they come to us with a big hope that we will find right person for them, right man. And we always explain that we are working on the level of action. So we have a base of men and women, we connect them, but the building of relationships depends on them. And sometimes women at their 30s, they are unmarried, not because there are not enough men in Ukraine, and not because she is ugly, but because some internal psychological barriers, would say it.
Does that mean they're just crazy or what?
Not crazy, just expressing some difficulties in building relationships. And if we see it in the process of our work, we put her attention to this, and then she chooses if she wants to work on it or leave it like that. But when they are arguing with us, we explain if you did all this all your life before and you didn't get the result, so you don't have a family. Now we tell you what to do, how to do better, what to change, and you don't follow our advice, so you will get the same result.
Regardless of whether it's with a foreigner or with a Ukrainian, it's going to work out the same. So maybe they just think, well, what I've been doing didn't work in Ukraine with Ukrainian men, so now I'll try foreigners and I can use the same behavior, and they expect a different outcome. Is that kind of what you think?
Yeah, sometimes it happens here, and we discussed it with you in some of other videos that sometimes, yes, women. It happened more before. They expected that foreign men, will do everything for them. So he should buy everything on the first date, on the second date. But we explain it's not true, and moreover, it's a bad manners. And now we are trying to filter our ladies even more. And it's my dream in some years to have the agency of only exclusive girls of top class. I mean, not just appearance. We don't have models, but special good upbringing, good manners, good education, and of course there won't be girls who ask for money for taxi or pay for me, give me this perfume and so on, because
Okay, so there seems to be a little bit of that for some of the, we'll say, less genuine girls, that they're actually just looking for someone to pay for stuff and they think they might get it out of foreigners. Fair enough. With respect to women who have maybe had a relationship, maybe been married, which is often common in Ukraine, and gotten divorced or separated. Well, normally that means they're divorced here in Ukraine, and they have a child. Is that also an incentive to look for a foreign guy, do you think?
Yeah, I think so, because sometimes I don't see it myself, this issue, but some women clients, they tell that our local men don't want women with kids. I didn't see it myself, but maybe when lady clients telling this, they saw it in their practice, in their personal life, and they hope that foreign men they are more inclined to children from other men. I mean, they don't mind.
Okay, so maybe there's a perception that guys who are single, who they would have possibility with here in Ukraine, they're not so keen on a woman who already has a child and another man, because obviously it's an extra burden for them, and they probably have other options. Is that fair to say?
Maybe, and I noticed it depends on the social status of men too here. If it's a middle average type of man, of course it's a big expenses for him to have not one woman but already two people in his family additionally, and to provide them, even if a woman works. At any rate, most of the families here, I believe, they considering men to be provider of the family. But I also talked with local men who are businessmen. They don't have problems with the finance, and for them it's not a problem to have children.
Okay, so that's interesting. So they see it as an extra financial burden there, and they don't want to take it on. And then for a foreign guy who has money, for sure, then he sees it as a bigger win for him, because maybe he thinks the woman is a better option than his local dating option, so he doesn't mind we'll call it a downside of having someone else's child to pay for and bring up and obviously raise.
Yeah, and I think that maybe in this case both men and women are winning in this situation, because he's finding more beautiful, more smart women than he could find in his own country.
And also maybe similar values that he's looking for. Maybe the whole package is better overall. Looks,
and
values.
Traditional values, this is word traditional is very tricky.
Yes, tricky. We have other videos on that, and I've actually talked about in a recent podcast about the traditional values, even though divorce is at 60% and whatnot.
At any rate, if people have much in common, they see a family in the same way, they have the same life goals, then they have more chances for success. And at the same time, a woman in this case finds someone caring, someone responsible, able to provide the family. Because you can imagine if the average salary in Ukraine like $500 per month. So, but making a child get ready for school costs $400. I just experienced it. Son.
Exactly. So you can do the math.
Yes. Okay. You can imagine how difficult it will be for average man to have women with children.
Yeah, especially if it's matches more than one. I know typically it tends to be one child from a previous relationship because obviously the families here are not enormous in general, even if the relationship lasts. So in summary, what you're seeing for women over 30 who in particular come obviously to your matchmaking service is the reason that they're interested in foreigners. It's actually not because they're interested in foreigners that they come originally. They just want to meet someone because they haven't been successful so far in finding a relationship that's been lasting here amongst Ukrainian men. But then they see that they can expand their options dramatically and probably get a guy of higher status or someone.
And I forgot to add that also many women don't have enough time to date, because to date you need to go out to go some restaurant, nightclubs, and many don't have time. Especially if she has child, she works a lot, usually working days plus maybe even more, and she's living, and sometimes they're even providing her child, her mother, her father. They're working a lot, so she just simply doesn't have time to meet friends and to meet new people, and hence they come to us and they delegate us finding someone for them.
Yeah, and then obviously they can expand their options. And actually, if they're in that situation, then dating a foreigner, at least getting to meet someone, they're meeting someone online in general, you would say. So the fact that they're a foreigner is not an extra handicap, because like obviously if you match them with a local guy here, they can actually just meet him in person straight away. They don't need to communicate for maybe a few weeks or months before they get to meet him.
Because the problem is that they just don't have the choice among local men.
Okay. Yes.
To meet someone, first of all, she should meet him for the first time, and this first time doesn't happen because if she's busy all the time, she just doesn't go out so often, or maybe she goes out and doesn't meet someone right.
Okay, so it can actually be a bit more convenient to get to know him sitting at home.
Yeah. And it's more comfortable, I think, for people, both for men and women in the agency, that we have all the information about the man. Of course, we are not investigating and we are not reading thoughts, but we have basic information about men. We are calling to women and saying, this is a man of this age, he's working like this, he has children or doesn't have children, he wants this and this. Do you have something in common? We see, and if yes, they connect. It's just optimization of the process, I think, I would say.
Okay, so it's basically expanding options. So Ukrainian women, 30 years of age, we can say that the primary reason they're interested in foreigners is basically expand their options, right?
To find more responsible men that they can find here, I would say. Good for family, even just for family life. And I think that they also expect someone faithful, because it's still our value for many women here, and it's also at the same. It's also a well-known fact here that wealthy men here have many foreign affairs. I don't know if it's true about Europe and the US, but you can tell me more.
Well, let's see. So the perception is if a guy has abundance, he's wealthy, he has high status, he has a lot of options, that he may have gotten married to a woman here in Ukraine, but then he has plenty of mistresses. That's basically the perception, yeah?
Yeah, but what about Europe?
It's probably not stereotypically common, but of course it happens a lot as well. I mean, I think they're being a little bit delusional, but maybe it's just about maybe that the guy that they're going to marry is a foreigner. He's not in the same situation normally as a wealthy guy here, even if they have the same amount of money. Obviously, the wealthy guy here, his purchasing power is like 3 or 5 times higher. So this probably is part of the reason. It seems like in general they've just had bad experiences or been unsuccessful in Ukraine, and now they want to expand their options because they believe that they can get a better exchange, because their value probably on the international dating market, right, amongst foreigners who are coming here, is going to be higher than it is amongst local guys of the same level. I think that's pretty fair. And then because of that, if they have a child, it's even more likely they'd be interested in a foreigner, because their value is probably going to be a little bit less even there here on the local dating market. Cool. So now we've solved that riddle for you. Why would 30-year-old Ukrainian women actually be interested in foreign guys? Definitely go out if you are interested in 30-year-old Ukrainian women and the matchmaking service. Then you can go and check out Yelena's links below and going to put them there. And do people get a bonus, right, if they say they're a friend of mine?
To say about it, yes. If you're coming from Connor, you get a bonus date.
And Yelena, you give an extra bonus for people if you are a friend of Connor and you contact her. What exactly is the extra bonus?
It will be a bonus date for you in addition to something included into your package if you come from Connor.
Awesome. So, never say I didn't help you out, guys. Cool. So, Yelena, спасибо большое. Да. And, дуже дякую. I should also say, make it a bit multilingual here. In Ukraine. See you very soon in the next video. We're going to enjoy the last few days of this Indian summer. The weather is phenomenal here in Odessa, Ukraine. Actually, that should be good advertisement for Odessa. It's the end of September, and this is the kind of weather we have. We can sit out in t-shirts still. See you very soon.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. До побачення. До свидання. До встречи.
SAR Experience.